Welcome to the Latino Podcast, where we amplify the voices of Latino professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders coming together to educate, inspire, and connect across one of the most dynamic binational regions in the world. Bicultural, premium, powerful.
Welcome to another episode of the Latino Podcast, where we discuss the intersection of law, culture, and our Latino communities. Each episode, we sit down with attorneys, judges, local leaders, politicians, influencers, and more influential voices shaping our community and the California-Mexico corridor. As always, this episode is brought to you by Gomez Realtors, a binacional, bicultural, and best-in-class law firm based in San Diego and now with offices in Tijuana. Gomez Realtors provides the highest level of legal representation in both the English and Spanish languages to victims of personal injury, employment violations, and civil rights abuses. It is also the largest Latino-owned law firm in California. Today, I'm happy to be joined by my co-host, Naya Flores, who graciously agreed to participate and host this episode today. And I'm also excited to have Valeria Rivera here, and I'll let her introduce herself. But she is one of the voices right now leading the binational corridor with this incredible race that she's going to, explain to us about. Valeria, welcome. We're really excited to have you here. Why don't we start with, tell us who you are, where you're from, and your connection to this community.
Of course. First of all, thank you so much for the invite. I'm really honored to be here in this really cool podcast that connects the binational community. I'm Valeria Rivera Corona, and I was born in San Diego, but raised in Tijuana. I'm the border girl, right? That goes to full and Tijuana. My parents work in San Diego, across the border every day. That's not hard for us, right? So, I've been with the Binational Race for 3 years. We're really excited for this edition. Everything started as a dream, we could say, or just something that we didn't even know if this could be possible. I'm the co-founder of the Binational Race. We're a team of 3.
Team of 3 to that large-scale race?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
We're a team of 3, yes. And Benjamin, who's one of the co-founders, he brought this idea like 5 or 6 years ago to a running team that we had. So we were like, okay, that sounds cool, but I don't think this could be possible, right? So once we spoke with someone really important from government that it's involved in the international, when we pitched the idea, he was like, if you want to do it, I'll help you guys, but we're not joking. And we're like, okay, then let's try it, right? And then at the end, when we figured out that this was going to be real, no one raised their hand, right? Because it's another job. Everyone has like other stuff to do. So just Paulina Gallegos and I raised our hands, and we're a small team. So Benjamin is the one that manages everything on the Mexican side most of the time. Paulina, she's the community manager, and I'm more involved in the US side. But at the end, everyone does a little bit of everything, right?
Very nice. It seems like a fantastic team, especially for like achieving this. Is it the 3rd year that this is going to go on?
3rd year, but like all the funding and everything happened like 4 years and a half now.
Oh, wow.
So since we were like, they told us, yes, you can do it. It took us like a year and a half to get all the permits, all logistically internally. And also, yes, it's a team of 3, but we have other teams that handle the operations and logistics. We hired a really good team that has been in business for more than 35 years. The name is Timing HQ, that they handled all the logistics and permits and everything on the US side. Mm-hmm. And in Mexico, we also hired someone that has done races for years. The name is Los Angeles Team. And they have done a lot of races for more than 20 years as well. So we have the best of both worlds.
Oh. You guys surround yourself by a good team, right?
Yeah, and I feel like a year and a half is actually pretty quick. I don't know. I feel like for something that big, that capacity, a year and a half is pretty fast. So you guys did great. I mean, it's huge. Yeah, you're everywhere, I feel like.
Thank you. We're trying our best. And I can say that at the beginning, it wasn't easy because it was hard for the runners to trust someone that It's a normal runner that has never done this before. But we're really like grateful for everyone that signed up for the first year because there was no picture, nothing settled that we could say this will happen, right? So it was just our imagination and trusting on what we were saying. And it went really well. For being our first edition, we had 1,200 runners register.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yeah, so really excited.
No, it's a new product. But let me backtrack a little bit. Because like this idea of creating a binational race does not come from someone who does not have a connection to this community that understands why it's important. So, and I'll hit myself if I don't mention this. Valeria and I, we have a school coming in Tijuana, which I call the best private school in Baja, called Instituto Mexico. So shout out to Instituto Mexico like always. And I think you're like the third or fourth guest that we have in this podcast that has that background. So going back, like where did the idea come up? Like I know you said you had a team of runners, but why a binational one? Why not a race in Tijuana? Why not a race in San Diego? Like what happened like in your minds to create a thing where you actually cross the border in a race?
Yes, of course. Well, I've been running for 14 years now. So when I started, I was 18. No one from my group friends grew on at that time. So actually, I studied industrial engineering. So when I graduated, I was in my peak of not in my best shape, we could say, right? So I Googled like, what's the best way to lose weight? And it was running. So I started running. And in a treadmill, I met Benjamin. Now
The co-founder.
the co-founder, right? So he was like, "Hey, you run really well," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you, whatever." I never thought that I was going to do like a half marathon or anything from that end, right? So his visa got expired, and he couldn't do the Sadio half marathon.
Mhm.
And he told me like, "Do you want my ticket? I can get it to you." And I was like, "I don't know how to run. Like, only runs like 8 kilometers at max." And he was like, "You can do it. Let's try it." And I was like, "No, try to sell it if you can't, I'll join." And when someone that like this happens always, like someone puts like the thing in your mind, and by end of day, I was like, what's the worst thing can happen?
Right,
Like
right.
my parents go and pick me up.
Yeah, just go for it. Go for it.
You can also walk. I know, I was definitely a walker.
In the morning, in the morning, I call him like, "Please don't sell it that one." Okay, let's try. So, that was my first half marathon when I was 18, and it was a really good experience. So from there, I never stopped running.
Good.
And we started going to run. COVID was a key part for this binational
The
idea
horse.
because we went to run in San Diego and went to run in Tijuana.
And you're like outdoors and
Yeah, there's
indoors.
nothing to do.
Yeah.
At that time, I did work here in downtown at B Street, Wealth Management. So homeless and I were the ones that came to work all the time
Yeah.
because it was a finance thing and it wasn't like a remote job. So I had to.
Yeah, either.
Yes, but either way, we enjoyed a lot running in San Diego and Tijuana. So, for a while, we started in Tijuana and then crossed the border running, went to Coronado and all that stuff.
I feel like that's a typical. So for people that don't know, that's like the typical route for Tijuana people, either running or biking
Yeah.
or cycling. Like people actually cross the border, they park at Imperial Beach, and then they go to Coronado, come back. That's what, like 11 miles,
Yes, around.
right?
Yes, so that was what we were doing. And we were like, obviously, if we go from Mexico to the United States, this couldn't be possible, or I'll be a millionaire. But how about the other way around? So that's why we started digging into like, okay, is this something that we could do? Speaking like, let's see, at the first, I'm going to share this because it was a really impactful thing for us. So the person that helped us connect with both countries, right? Sadio, Tijuana, government agencies and everything, set up a meeting here at the mayor office. And we were like with our presentation, but like really like we did it one day before. We didn't know like with whom we were going to speak with.
Right.
So it was like the first meeting to see what's going to happen, right? So actually Paulina, one day before we should take something. And I was like, let's go and see what's happening. I thought it's gonna be like in an office this big just to speak about like the idea, right?
Yeah.
So we got there. We were at the majors like conference room. We had everyone there. San Diego Chamber of Commerce, CDP, Tijuana people, like important people, were like 20 people there. And we were like with our presentation, no PowerPoint or anything. Or we're like, okay, we have this idea. We pitched everything. And the key thing was when CDP said, yes, this could be possible. We were like, okay, this is a win now. Yeah. And at the first, we went for that meeting, I think I don't remember the times, but it was like 6 months before racing. And we're like, yes, in 6 months, we're going to make this race, blah, blah, blah. And on the end, we noticed that that couldn't be possible.
It takes more time than that. Well, especially like all the people that were there just to meet with you.
Exactly.
Because one of my questions was going to be like in advance of this podcast is one, where the hurdles, right? And I imagine they would be like CVP and customs in Mexico, but it's a good thing that they immediately said, yeah, this is possible.
Exactly. But since that date, I never put all of those persons together again.
Okay.
You know, like it's really funny because we didn't have like a really good plan. Like they had the idea of a plan, right?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like the brand comes along once you start doing the work, right? Because this was an idea that you all had in your mind, but just the fact that all these people got together, that meant that they were believing the project, right? And you believed in the project, right?
Yes, and like I think timing is the best part of it because I started my entrepreneurship career like 7 years ago. So I had another company. The name was Crumb Cheese, and it was we brought Aaron's wafer cookies from Guadalajara and sold them in different coffee shops. So at the end, it was a really hard business. A lot of I had to move like all the manufacturing and everything here. So I did my numbers, projections, and I think that was the end of it. So as soon as I closed that business and I exited, I like in the next day, Binational came up, and I was like, I mean, it's Mexican and I'm American, so I was like, okay, I'll handle everything on the US side and you do all the Mexican side. So from one day to another, I opened my company. Like I wasn't scared.
Is everything allowed to do it?
Exactly, because if it wasn't that way, I will never do this like by myself, how,
Right.
everything. So that helped me a lot to encourage myself to open another thing. And at the end, what's going to happen? If it doesn't work, we just close it, right? So, but yes, so it's been a long journey.
So what drove that entrepreneurship? Because, a lot of people that, that I know from Tijuana, they come here and they work on some place, right? Like what drove that entrepreneurship? Like your parents, friends, like what motivated you to like saying, if you let them out, open my own business?
Yes, it was funny because I like when we started, it was with one of my best friends. So the first company, right? So I always carried healthy snacks with me because was like in this like a lot of pain in my stomach and stuff. So I wasn't able to eat everything. And we bought a lot of wafer cookies from another company in Mexico. And we were one day at an after party, it was like 2 a.m. or something. And my friend was like, do you have any of your wafer cookies? And I'm like, yes. And she was like, why do we do this in the US? It's never open or anything, or we haven't seen them at any like gasoline stations or anything. And we were like, okay. And at that moment, like on the next day, we started searching for everything, and we met one. It was like really weird, like how things happened. Paulina, the at that moment the co-founder of Crumb Cheese, she was on the beach with one like entrepreneurship book, and the dog came in. It was one of and she was the dog came by her, and then the owner of the dog was like, "Oh, you want to entrepreneur or something?" She was like, "Yes," and Billy at that time, the owner of the dog, introduced us to start a incubator. Wow. So that's how we started.
Yeah.
Because at the end, sometimes you have the idea, but if you don't continue and you push yourself, it's like, okay, let's do it another day or whatever. But yes, so exactly. And that end, the startup was starting in San Diego Marymount College. And the name is Rec Innovation Lab, lead by Tiny Hertz.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, I was the second corporate.
Oh, wow.
And at the end, when you are in this entrepreneurship world, you notice that it's a really small niche. So then I was like in other incubators with USD with Village Up, with Founder Flago, with so
And they help you with like market study research and all this.
exactly, yes,
Or-
with my first company.
Okay.
And then when I started Binational, I obviously reached back to everyone. Hey, I have this project, and everyone was willing to help me. So
Well, you had the right contacts, right?
yeah, exactly. And we continue building everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Good. So how do you like when you went back to them, how do you know that this idea would work on attracting people to the event? Because I guess that's, you can have the idea, you can have the business, but how do you know people are going to show up?
yes, exactly. We had to put it in a different way, right? I was impressed that a lot of people was their first time going to Mexico or even thinking about crossing the border. So making it this like the best of both worlds, you start in the US and in Mexico, you can have a huge festival at the end with tacos, beer, mariachi. So that was our thing, saying into different running clubs that we were also going to the most popular in San Diego and Tijuana, right? So like ourselves going and explaining what do we envision for this race helped us. And also, obviously we had like friends that also went with us and try to motivate. Because, if probably you've signed up for the race, you can motivate your friends and yes, let's go.
And she will if she big. Read this class.
About this. Yeah. I don't think I can do the half marathon, but a 10K. Okay, maybe the 12. Well, I've done a 5K and yeah, it was easy. But I did not prepare for that. But I think for a 12K, I do have some time because yeah, train also November. Yeah, I have some time to train. I do, study and work and do a lot, but I think that I love the mission, like the vision of the whole race in itself, like bringing both cities kind of together. And you do mention something I was stalking a little bit on that. But you mentioned like to not focus on what separates us, rather what unites us. And I feel like you said, being a border girl, I mean, me too. Born and raised in San Diego, but also raised in Tijuana. And I still have my family there as well. And so going back and forth, and they're both cities are home. So I think that just bringing both together, connecting them is really special. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Even though I'm not a runner and I don't not running.
You're not a runner yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. We all start somewhere. I'm more of a Pilates person, but I think it'll be a great experience. I already told one of my friends yesterday. I was like, we're gonna do this because she's also from Tijuana and San Diego. So I think I will definitely be signing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to do it. Yeah.
It's like that. It's a really different experience. So at least we started, yes, right, with this mission of connecting both cities. Like we go shopping in the US and then we go to a lot of things like going back and forth. Why not running, right? Yeah. Since there's the boom right now of running on both sides, and sometimes we have like running clubs in Tijuana. Why don't we go to San Diego or vice versa, from San Diego to Tijuana, right? But at the end, the first year that we did the race, it was impressive, like the story that every runner has behind it. So there was a lot of testimonials like, hey, I won this for my grandpa because of him, I'm able to go back and forth. Like a lot of stories that we were crying the next day, like, okay, yes, I started with this idea of connecting the border, but I didn't know what deeply stories were going to happen with a lot of runners.
Yeah.
And all the culture outside of it, and a lot of people that they probably have their passport and everything, but they don't come to Tijuana often, and making it secure. We have shows that bring them back from the finish line back to San Isidro. So making the experience as easy as possible, and that they can take a little bit of Mexico with them, right? So the tacos.
Sure.
And I thought we facilitate that, like being, border people. Like we always want to bring people to Tijuana. We always want to bring people to buy it because we want them to see like what we've experienced and how great it is. But, for the race, and being so many races in San Diego and Tijuana, I think it was a great idea, the fact that you did a national thing, because it actually attracts a lot of people. And then I even heard about it first year. I'm like, what is this race about? How are they going to do it? How they got to go over the hurdles? But, for our listeners, why don't you explain what the binational race is, where it starts, where it ends, how many options they have to raise it? Like you said, you have a half marathon, 10, 12 or something. So if you can go over that, that would be awesome.
Of course. Well, the binational race, San Diego Tijuana, is a half marathon, 12K, and 10K. So two distances, the half marathon and the 12K start in Las Americas Premium Outlets, the outlet center that everyone, well, most of the people know in San Isidro. We start there. For the half marathon, we run like almost 10 kilometers on the US side. And for the 12K, it'll be just 1 kilometer. After that, we cross the border. There's a mariachi band that receives us. So that's the most emblematic moment of the race. A lot of people even stop a little bit and dance and then continue their journey.
And where do you cross? Is it through the pedestrian bridge or is it through like the car entrance?
It's through the car entrance. So CDP opens a special gate that is like Ped West, a sign of it, but it's never open. So they just open for a certain time for the race itself. And it's really fun because a lot of CDPs are there like cheering up.
Oh, very nice.
So you cross there and then you go to Mexico. Also, the Mexican military is there cheering up. And then we continue on the Avenida Internacional. And the finish line is in Playas de Tijuana, where the lighthouse is. So in front of the beach.
Very nice. So how is that? Like for our listeners, like this is the only experience that we have to actually cross the border where the cars go, right? Running. And then how is that hill going up to Playas? Because I've heard, I was with a friend of mine who's definitely a runner, excessive runner. I think he ran like 17 half marathons last year.
Okay.
So he's signing up for it.
Of course, should be.
And we're talking about the hill, right? How is that hill? Is that where people like start like walking a little bit? Like how is that?
Yes. So that hill, we do a special challenge. That is like the king or queen of the hill. So we put a timer before the hill starts and at the finish line. And we do like a race within the race that we award the fastest female and male, a 5 top. So it's really fun because a lot of people like they want to go for that specific exactly. So they could walk the first half, then stop, push their limits in the enchilada, you always say, because that part is one of the races. Yes, and the races, most emblematic races in Tijuana is the enchilada hill that has the same hill. So we honored that part as well. So we award those, and it's been really fun to have that like race inside the race. Mm-hmm. And I also forgot to mention that we have a third race, the 10K. That one starts in Tijuana. So it's more for people that don't have visa. We also figured out that a lot of people don't have visa. Sometimes we make it for granted, right? So a lot of people wanted to have the experience but couldn't be crossing the border. So we did the 10K that starts besides Costco del Rio and unites the other race that's coming from San Diego, and we all end in like.
Oh, very nice. So as the people from San Diego are coming in, they start the race as well.
Oh, yeah. So it's really fun because you're seeing the other ones that come from Tijuana. They observe.
Yeah, but see, like only people from like Tijuana and San Diego will realize that there's a need for that, right? So that's great that you have a team that's consists of that.
Yeah, they're concerned of the fact that, some people don't have a visa, but they love the mission and, even just running together alongside other people. I think that right now, too, it's really popular to join run clubs and, to do all of these things. I think like after COVID too, it was more that everyone wants a connection with, socializing and things like that. So I think that, running does bring people together. But now I'm a little nervous. I will need your tips on how to.
It's 1 mile of hill only, so.
Oh, only one. Only one.
So if you connected with the right person, they co-founder for creators, so she has all the insight,
all the deets. I definitely will need. Well, so for the 12K, does the 12K start in San Diego or?
Oh yeah, in Las Americas Premium as well.
And then the full half marathon.
Both start in Las Americas Premium.
Well, it's very nice.
Of this year.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, we'll make sure to promote it on social media. We'll tag you guys for sure.
Yeah, social media, the office. So maybe we can get like a running club weekend. The firm.
We'll push video. We'll sign it.
We'll get merch.
Yeah. Of course.
And then I already mentioned like running right now is like a trend, right? I think inside the trend right now. Like I knew a lot of people that used to run before, but now it's like, is it a generation thing? Is it the fact that it brings people together? Is it the sneakers? Because everyone has a sneaker craze right now, right?
I know. I think it's a little bit of everything. People have like the trend of being more healthy, um, getting into healthier habits, not drinking so much. So instead of waking up early, and do other stuff, they prefer to go running. And also, I've seen that they try a little bit of going to different running clubs, right? Because there's a lot. And in my experience, since I go and promote the race to different running clubs, every running club has their own vibe, right? So there's one that probably it's a little bit more elite, that they're a little bit faster. Other ones that have like when you finish the running club, they give you a free beer. So like there's a different strategy for all of them. But the common thing that I've seen is that everyone's very friendly. Like I've never felt like, I don't know, I guess as a stranger. And now that I know a little bit more of this community, people, it's really fun to share this experience and the race itself and um everything that you can like share with them to have this great experience, and also share about Mexico, right? Not because only the race, but you can go and there's other running clubs there. We do activations before race day for the national. So for example, last week we had a 5K community run totally for free at a coffee shop here in Balboa. The name is Salita Coffee Shop. Then next month, well, this month actually, we're gonna have another activation in Tijuana and coffee shop San Coco in Altai. I love San Coco. And we're gonna have another one in North Park. We still don't have the date, but that's the beauty of the international, that we do stuff in Tijuana, in San Diego, and try to connect and know each other before race day, because yes, that day it's really special. You're already trained for everything, so it's just like enjoying the day. And at the end of the festival, it's really fun to see how people that don't even know each other, they are
Connect.
like exactly connecting and celebrating their achievement.
Very nice. I think it's better, especially when you're in a group, because it's hard to like running up by yourself. Like how you push yourself sometimes. Yeah, everyone has like a Garmin or their Apple Watch now, and yeah, they're tracking it. But I feel like when you see someone else like running faster than you, it's like, well, I want to catch up with that person. Like if he or she can do it, like I wanted to.
Yeah, like a little healthy competition for sure. I know. I personally, when I'm on the treadmill, I like to talk on the phone with someone. I just feel like it distracts me from the fact that I'm running or walking on the treadmill. So it makes it go by faster. And then, you have someone that's also doing it with you. So for the race, it'll be very nice that when you get to the finish line, you did it together.
Exactly. And yeah, I think it's always good to do it together. There's people that like to do it by themselves, but when you start running, you contagious the people around you, right?
Yeah.
In my case, I run like for 14 years, since 14 years, right? And it took me 8 years to move my family, like my grandson and my sister. So one time we were organizing another race. It was during COVID. It was just for family events. And I invited my mom to help and give some water. And she was like, if that person can do it, why not me?
Right.
So, and that's the beauty of everything, right? Like we can contagious the good thing, the healthy habits,
Yeah.
and have a good experience.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you mentioned there's going to be kind of a festival like in Pilares, like once we're done, right? Is there going to be like little businesses you said there's tacos?
We have different vendors. We have like music. This year we're gonna have like a tourism hall that will be with the Secretary of State of California. Like all of the cities will be there,
Yeah.
and providing a little bit of information of each city, because this is something new that we're gonna have. But it's really important because 80% of our runners are from the US.
Right.
So it's a really good opportunity to share a little bit about Baja and the things that you could do, probably not that specific day, but so they can come back and go and visit Valle, go and visit Tecate, Mexicali. There's a lot of things that we could do around, and it's just really close, right?
Yeah, a lot of activities too. I know that. My dad's been itching to take like a fishing trip down in Ensenada and go catch some tuna. I think I'm not too sure on the fish, but yeah, there's a lot of things to do in Tijuana, especially to But I think that even just being like walking around sometimes you can feel people's like energy, like happy. Everyone is just so welcoming in Tijuana and Baja California in general, in general. But yeah, so I feel like it's really nice to kind of showcase that. And there's also so many cities or hidden gems that people don't know about. And I think that's really beautiful. So I think that's a great opportunity to do that and also showcase other businesses that are, you know, barely starting, but they're trying, you know, they're taking that risk to succeed and, you know.
Exactly. And as an entrepreneur, I obviously want to help people that are starting, try to showcase their products. We have an expo that's one day before the race when you go and pick up your bib and everything. So we have one that's on a Friday at Group Runner Sports in Kerman Besa. But that one is a small one. It's just mostly go pick up your stuff and probably get some last minute stuff at the store.
Yeah.
But on the Saturday on October 24th, we have our huge expo that is at Las Americas Creamy Outlets from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., where we have local vendors, we have bands, stores from Las Americas that put their own booth, and we have around 30 different canopies that offer a lot of good stuff, right?
It's like a 3-day event. It's not a 1-day event. It's a 3-day
It's a
event.
3-day event,
Wow,
yes.
okay.
And we have also some DJing there, so it's really fun.
And getting excited about it. And in the mood there for running.
Yeah, especially with music too. I feel like we all love music, but I love the touch of the mariachi. I feel like that would just hit home for me. I might get a little emotional when we get to that point. Because I am gonna sign up. I committed, right? But I think that's really beautiful. I mean, also for Las Americas, I'm gonna do some damage shopping on retail, but I feel like it's definitely gonna be a fun, like the event, you know, especially as we're, you know, like leaving summer soon and it's gonna be fall. It's gonna be a nice transition, I would say, to that.
Yes, and we've grown organically, but really fast. So the first year we had 1,200 runners registered within the two distances. Then the second year, 2,200. And this year, our goal is to get to 5,000 runners. Our ideal scenario will be like sold out. Then you have to register for next year or something. Get out of the waiting list. But let's see what happens. We still have 2 months and a half. So as a runner, sometimes don't sign up at the early yeah. Or yeah, so last minute. So let's see what happens. But we're really exciting on what could we get to.
I feel like you've been promoting it a lot. Like once I knew you were gonna be in the podcast, I looked it up on Instagram, and since then, like the ads all the time, I see it all the time, which means like you guys have a good team that's doing it.
Yeah.
And going back to the team, because you said it's a 3-people team, are you getting any like volunteers to help out? Are you getting any other businesses to help out? Like, what's the strategy behind that?
Yes, so we always looking for volunteers. There's in our website, there's like you can sign up for volunteering. That's the most important part. Like that day, all my family saved to help as a VIP volunteer. I guess it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And every year we've noticed that we need more people, right? So we promised ourselves that this year we're gonna I prefer to have more volunteers and then they could chill a little bit.
Right.
But yes, it's hard. But we have a great team. As I mentioned, Tining HQ hires people to help.
Right.
But either way, we do have our VIP volunteers that help that specific day, like for check-ins, questions. We have like a little store that we sell merch. So all of the things we can't do it by ourselves, right? So
It's a lot of work. It's a big project. So, but that's good that you have all these volunteers. So, I mean, you just tell listeners, like, where do they go to sign up? What's the website? What's your social media? We want to make sure that if you can get anything from this, it's a little support, right?
yes, thank you so much. So everything like registration is through our website. That's binationalrace.com. You register there for the 3 distances. You pick the one that you want. Also, we have our Instagram, that's at Binational Race. You could see all the events that we're having before the race there, any last minute notice or information. Also information from our sponsors that 2 weeks before the race, we do send a virtual goodie bag for all the people that registered and have some like coupons, information, and valuable things that you should take advantage of. And yes, so everything's through our website. It's on October 25th of this year, 2026. And we're very excited to have a lot of people sign up for this third edition. And every year we're going to do a better. So there's a lot of people that are legacy runners now. And we're doing this thing that if you've been racing for the 3 years, you get an extra surprise at the end. So
Little motivation.
exactly, yes. And I've been doing that for the San Diego half when I started last year. It was my 11th consecutive race. So you have like a VIP stuff, like you feel that you're the best real. And I love how I feel. So I wanted to incorporate that same thing to our race.
Yeah, you're loyal runners.
Exactly.
All right, I want to keep the coming back.
Yeah, and I definitely want to join for this one, and the ones that come after that, so I can be like an OG. And I started when it was, in the beginning, race stages. Yeah, so no, it's gonna be a great race. I'm definitely gonna push. I'm gonna push my family to do it.
Or even go and cheer up and just see what we do. I told my family last year, even my grandma has 88 years old. She went to see and she was like, "Oh, Valeria, you do all this?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she was like, "We need to tell everyone that comes and knows you." It's like,
Because they get the experience, right?
you're not in this like running world. You don't even know what a race
Right.
looks like.
You feel the energy though.
Exactly. Before you get there, you're like, okay, this is huge.
Yeah. That's good. And what time is the start of the race? Because I know these are generally pretty early in the morning, right?
Yes, it's gonna be around 7:30 a.m.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I look like I got
Gosh,
6.
yeah, no. I feel like we wake up pretty early, and I'm here at like 5:30, 6:30 a.m. And then I know David usually goes to, Yung super early. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But
I used to wake up at 4 a.m. for those, but not anymore.
Oh,
Which are nice.
yeah, the thing is that in October it's a little bit darker.
Right.
So that's why you have to 7:30.
That's good. And where you see like, you spoke about that you're going to make the race better and better every year. Where do you see the race going? Like, what are the long-term goals for this race? Like, what do you like envision?
We would like to like a marathon that crosses the border. That will be like our goal.
Okay.
And now like one of the 8, like the majors or something. That's like my goal. But it takes time.
No, of course.
But yes, making a marathon could be the goal, and also increasing in a short term, it'll be increasing the runners that we have, probably like 10,000 runners or something.
Good.
That could be the goal. And yes.
I think it's very doable,
Yeah,
especially just going to have people that I see. So I'm part of a lot of orgs here in San Diego, especially one which is a legal org. So I'm a board member there, and we actually have in that group a runners group.
Okay.
And they're all talking about running. They're all talking about the races, and they're all talking about sneakers. That's why I'm here to with all the Aces and the Brooks and the Ghosts and the Noble Blast. If not, I wouldn't be. So I think I'm gonna get some Aces Noble Blast for this race.
You should get it at Road Runners. We have a special discount.
Oh, there is.
I'll share that with you.
I didn't know this. I was about to buy them yesterday, so I'll wait.
yeah, I for sure need new running shoes. And like I said, I'm not a runner, but
But now it really matters let this go.
yeah, no. And I personally, I love looking the parts. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get a vest. I've been all this year. Yeah, of course. So I'm definitely gonna go to that store, but I will wait for the coupons for sure.
That is perfect. I think it's an exciting project. And just the fact that it's very binational.
Yeah.
And, like we here in Gomez, we're also binational. Like I said, we just opened a Tijuana office. And one of the reasons for that is because we realized that from back in the day, we were already representing Tijuana families here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to do what you're doing, having people cross the border. So now we cross the border as that, which is fantastic. And you're doing it at a larger scale. Like we mentioned that we always brag about Tijuana and trying to get to Valle, but just the fact that you have the state representatives basically out highlighting Ensenada and highlighting Tijuana and the different cities in Baja, that is a lot, right? We had the opportunity to have the CDF Ensenada about a month and a half ago with Provindo, Guadalupe Valle, Cadillac, and they were here at the office promoting Ensenada with the Chamber of Commerce. So those are some of the things that we like doing. That's why we love having you here as our guest because we share that by nationality and by culturality.
Yeah, I would say like financial mindset that you have like for granted that everyone understands the border life, but
Yeah, they don't. And I have an interesting story. I'm not taking it away from binational, but I was at a conference, a legal conference, and there were attorneys from all over the country flying into the area right here by the convention center, where you can actually see Gladys of Tijuana.
okay.
Their question was, "So where is Tijuana? I keep hearing that Tijuana is very close." And I just told them, "You know what? Just turn around. It's right there." They couldn't believe it, right? So I think like all of this opens the eyes to people like this is it that simple? Like you don't need to like drive an hour to get to Tijuana. And I feel like just when I see people crossing the border like during this race and crossing to where the cars go by, it's just like amazing, right?
Yeah. Showcases how the vicinity of it is so close. Like we're if you really think of it, I know for me, it's like they're both my home. So it's like one. And for me, it's one. But I think that, no, this is going to be a great race where it's going to showcase that, I think our firm too, we like to, also speak in Spanish. And I feel like that's something that a lot of our clients, when they're from Tijuana, they, if they have a case with us because they live here, and then you talk to them in Spanish and they go, oh, no sé cómo sí, this ain't going to thank God. And, it's like, well, we want to make sure that, we're representing the communities.
So people are expressing the size of the languages.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's very beautiful. And I think that, this race kind of does that too.
And then for for our listeners too, because I know like this race needs sponsors. What kind of sponsorships do you have? What kind of businesses do you have that can help out the race, that can pitch in? Like, what are you looking for?
Yes, everyone's welcome, obviously.
Of course.
But I think the best part is that we have a lot of people that are coming from the United States, right? There's a lot of opportunities of the binational community that's hard to build, and they're there. So I always like to like pitch the sponsorship for people that are looking for binational community as you are, for example, right? So CMEX, for example, is one of our sponsors. We have one cleaning company that it's made that they are in both in San Diego and Tijuana.
Wow.
So also like identifying the companies that are in both sides. So when we're in Tijuana, we know, oh, okay, now we combine San Diego, right? So we do have different types of sponsorship. Anyone that's interested can send me an email to Valeria at binationalrace.com. But this year we're implementing something really fun that are like mile signage, like huge mile signage that every company that's willing to sponsor, they will own that mile, saying that they could do like activations there. They can invite their company teams and put their shirts and do like cheering stations.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to do like different activations of I don't know, giving away electrolytes or anything besides everything that's already set up in the rigs, like something special or even gummies or I don't know. It depends on what they're looking for, right? But also one of our sponsors is like a massage studio that has branches in San Diego and Tijuana. So that kind of sponsorships that are in both sides of both cities are the ones that accommodate the best. But either way, anyone's welcome.
Good. Who is that massage studio?
Alexander.
I knew it was gonna be her. Yeah, she's well known. She came to our party in Tijuana for our opening.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
Yes. Shout out to her.
No, very nice, very nice. I mean, I feel like we covered a lot. It's pretty exciting. We're both gonna sign up. I do want to do the half marathon. I've never done one, but I've always been like into sports. So I still like catch up pretty
He
quickly.
was bragging today.
I was.
It's like, oh, I did 5 miles. Like,
I did 5 miles on Monday, 5 miles on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I was lazy. But I just gotta go back and start training it up, right? Because that's the strategy.
A race to start.
Right.
Like, if you don't pay your ticket,
Yeah.
sometimes you are okay next week, and that happens to me. So
Yeah.
I
Also,
recommend you.
I'll sign up for sure.
Yeah, support us.
And we'll get other people. So generally before we say goodbye, are you familiar with Osotrava?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so like John, myself, we like his ending. So we sort of like copy him a little bit.
Okay.
So let's say if you had, like a pencil or like a feather to write things in the sky for everyone to see, like what would that be?
I will say that instead of dividing ourselves, let's be a, a community that unites ourselves.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Valeria, it hits us.
Yeah, it does hit us, honestly. And I think that, yeah, we work better when we're in a team. So, yeah,
Agreed.
great change.
Well, thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Nadia, for co-hosting today. Love having you here. Valeria, thank you for making the drive, stopping by our office. We look forward to your success at the binational race. And for all of our listeners, make sure that you follow Valeria, that you follow binational race. We'll put all the links in our podcast. And without anything else, the Latino podcast ends now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden.
Mike.
Thank you.